Hello, this is Adam Began, and I'm the host of Historically Haunted Show, where I talk about some very rare historical and haunted locations that I visited. I also interview some of the very best in the paranormal and cryptozoology field. So tune in every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Paranormal King Radio Network. And prepare to be educated about the unknown. Hey, historians, welcome back to another great episode of the Historically Haunted Show on the one and only Paranormal King Radio Network. I'm your host, Adam the Historian Ghost Hunter here. It's Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern in the world where we are. And I have a phenomenal guest tonight. I've had her on my vodcast show, and I've had her other half, Kenneth Drake, on here as well. But this is a whole new, she's no one's shadow. This is Alexandria Saar, S-A-A-R. She's a psychic medium and a life coach. She's highly praised for her compelling accuracy and guidance that she provided for her sessions. She's had over 8 years experience, and she's had continuous dedication in her passion towards basically just helping others. She puts everyone else above her in front of her. She shared her abilities with clients internationally and as well as on television, the radio, private sessions, public events, and even just shooting the shit with friends like me. So welcome, Alexandria. How are you?
Thank you so much for that awesome introduction. Hello, everybody. Hi, Adam. And you were just incredible. I just have to say that before we even start. And I've been really looking forward to this because you really bring so much to the table. So thank you for having me on here tonight.
I mean, thank you. You got me blushing here at my modest home here in Maine because the love, the joy, and just the trueness that you bring to the table, and even personally messaging me basically throughout the day and even the week. Can't wait for the show. Anything I can do. Here's my number. Here's a picture again. and I'm very much, I love that because I want my guests to be excited. I don't want them to just think they're coming on to another show. And you're a busy cat. You are a busy soul. You have a lot going on, which we're going to touch on. So thank you for that. But my thanks is to you for sharing some of this time with me. So thank you.
Thank you. Yes. And I made sure to be better at my messaging as well because me and Kenneth have been talking about this nonstop. And he was actually saying earlier how much he cannot wait to come back on here with you.
Much love to you both. She is sharing a haunted house with Medium Kenneth Drake, who's another lovely soul we've had on. We're talking a little bit about the haunted house. We'll touch on that too. But first, I want to touch on I guess we kind of beat it up last time. But for those of you that didn't catch the vodcast, let's talk about this little mini tour that you guys are venturing on, and let's entail where you're going to stop and when, and how can people find out.
Yeah, so this is going to be a really special tour, and this is actually the last tour of the year, and it stops at Massachusetts. It's going to be at the Best Western Inn and Best Western Adams Inn in Quincy, and that's just such a special place too because there's just so much history there, and that's why we're always really drawn to that, as well as it being my hometown. So it is also going to be filmed as well because we really love to just capture those special moments. And we felt, especially around Halloween, the veil is thin, the energy is even more intense. So, and we'd love to have you come as well, and we could meet. And we're offering some people to have some tables there as well, so they can promote themselves. And overall, we're just really excited because it's going to have that nice veil being thin as well.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain that, but as it happens every year on Halloween.
Yeah, it's the perfect backdrop and the perfect state, Salem State, Lizzie Borden, Plymouth Rock. Quincy is known for John Quincy Adams and John Adams and the first Dunkin' Donuts and USS Salem. Kilroy is from Quincy. So I didn't know you were from there. That's right. Maybe no, I did. You were from Massachusetts. You did tell me that, but That's exciting. I mean, we're going to be there. Me and Heather have to meet you guys, and we got to. We'll be there.
Yes. You guys will get the VIP access spot, and
I
we
love
mentioned
it.
before we'd love for you guys to set a table up there too.
Oh, we'd be honored. I just got some business cards in. I'd like to get some more stuff, and I'd love to. And we've always talked about getting Mr. Drake's ass out to Salem because he's never checked out which city. We got to get him out there the next day or something. We got real quick. Alex, do you like being called Alex or Alexandria, or does it matter either?
It doesn't really matter, but I like when people call me Alex. I feel like it's just short and easy. So you can absolutely just call me Alex.
Oh, that's very cool. Well, we have a question from Miss Nicole Gaspard from Haunted Real Connections here on Paranormal King every Wednesday. She says, hi to you, Alex. When did you realize that you had psychic and or mediumship abilities?
Hey, Nicole. And I remember you from last time. And, when I was younger, that's when I started to, I would see a lot of energy and orbs. And as a kid, there's just so much innocence in that. So that was actually never really too many scary encounters for me. So as I was growing up and in high school, there was like a lot of like tragedy in my family, which actually heightened my abilities. And I was having a lot of intense paranormal experiences. And I was actually living in a house where there was some past things as well. So there was like a lot of activity there. So I knew something was going on. And, a lot of the times when we start going on that path of self-discovery, it's like our higher self or our soul, like it like naturally draws us to wanting to learn more. Like I remember in high school, I was reading about spirits. I was reading about like the chakras and, bodhi trees, and it led me towards. Have you noticed that though? Like there's always so many circumstances that lead you to where you are now, like where you're supposed to be. Yeah, and I really followed that. And my cousin, this was when I graduated in 2013. At this time, I knew there was something going on because I was seeing and hearing a lot more intensely. And when I graduated high school, my cousin, she was having like this medium party. And not going to lie, at first I was a little skeptical because I came from a Catholic background. So I know that's hard to believe, but I was pretty skeptical. So I went, and that's where I met my mentor. And I just really hit the ground running having a mentorship with her. And it was one of the best things that happened to me because I went from not going in crowds to actually being like, okay, this is fine. I can go in big crowds of people. But before, it was hard for me to even go into the grocery store because I'd be so sensitive to people.
Really? Wow. So we're talking like constant grounding, so to speak, just to survive, just to make the day, I guess, for you.
Yeah, it was really difficult for me. So definitely being around a lot of people.
Now, this mentor, so to speak, is this Trish Tyler?
So Trish Tyler, she is. Shout out to Trish, Trish Tyler. Yes. She is an incredible advisor and seer. And I have gotten services from her, but my mentor actually, her name is Nicole Stevens with the E, Necole Stevens, and she's based out of New Hampshire, and she is an incredible mentor coach. And she's retired from doing readings right now, so she really just focuses. She's really behind the scenes type of person, and she's really quiet. So if anyone ever wants to get mentorships from her, I always highly suggest her because she is just the best, and she really helped change my life. So I always love her.
Because Nicole actually says, thank you for answering the question. She says, with her being in the War and Legacy Foundation and everything and being a psychic medium herself, she kind of feels stuck where she's at out in California, and tries. So that'd be good. Maybe Nicole, reach out to her maybe after the show, or reach out to psychic medium Alexandria Saar. She got her own Facebook page, and she could probably help you along. So great question, Nicole. A great answer, Alex. John Anthony's got a question. He says, hi, Alex. Can you explain the difference to him between psychic and psychic medium, and if there is a difference?
Oh, yeah. That is a great question. That is one of my favorite questions. Great question. Yes. So, Nicole, I would love that, girl. Please reach out to me. I love collabs. I love chatting with people. And the Warren Legacy Foundation is just kick-ass. And
That's
congratulations
cool.
to being a member on that. So yeah. So with a psychic is someone they tune into past, present, and future information by tuning into someone's auric field, tuning into someone's energy. And a medium, what you do is you raise your energetic vibration up to match spirits, because they're operating on a higher frequency. So a lot of people meditate or you set intentions, but it's two different types of energy. It's two different types of feelings. So yeah, that is a great question, but there absolutely is like a huge difference with that.
Wow, I never knew. It is a good question, because I mean, you wouldn't think. I think it's just one is just a shorter name, but no, there is some sort of difference. I mean, with all respect, because there is, excuse me, there's shaman, there's mediums, there's psychics, there's tarot readers, there's Wiccan witches, and there's a lot in that field. Are you open? You seem like you'd be open to all aspects of like religion or like astrology type stuff, right?
Yeah, I love that too. I love that, all of us, there's so much, different modalities to offer. I love that. When you really go down the rabbit hole, there is so many different healing modalities, and I love and I respect every single one, and especially witchcraft and even Satanism too. Like there's a satanic temple in Salem that I just think is amazing. They have such an amazing message, and it's not what people always think when they think about Satanism. It's actually, really nice and peaceful, and have you ever
It's an
heard
art
about
gallery.
that?
It's also an art gallery. I've been there. Me and Heather. It's in an 1854 funeral home. The Satanic Temple. It's the world headquarters in Salem, Massachusetts. That's killer. You've been there, so you've seen the Beelzebub statue and everything.
Yeah. So I actually made it to the house, and I was just standing there looking at the statue, but they were closed.
Oh, what? Shit. Oh, well, that's one thing we got to do. We got to do that, because inside it's got the chairs that they use for their ceremonies. It's got albums of like Ozzy Osbourne and stuff referred to for satanic. But then it's got little quotes like saying like, "Thou shalt not harm children. Thou shalt not harm another." People think satanic is cutting off goat heads, fucking virgins, and slitting throats of kids. And that's really not it. That's taboo. I'm sorry. Maybe there is some sort of that cannibalism type weird shit. And I'm sure there is deep satanic stuff, but honestly, Satanism is just about believing in yourself, really. Not really believing in God, but just believing in yourself to do things. So, sorry, I didn't mean to steal it there from you. I that caught my attention.
I love it. It's so true, though. They carry such a great message, and all of these modalities have something in common. Energy. Yeah. We're all connecting to the same source. We're giving it different names. We're using it intentional wise differently, so that all brings us together too. We're all just tapping into the same source of energy.
This chick is awesome. She knows her shit. It's true. Free will, and that's what God gave us. Beelzebub himself is a fallen angel. It all comes out to play at the end of the day. God rules all. We know that. It's okay to love some of the dark, and I think if you embrace it all, man, you can't have. If you didn't have darkness, what would be good then? Everything's good. That wouldn't make sense. You have to have the equal yin and yang. Am I right?
Right. No, you're so right. There always needs to have that balance, and you're on a whole other world, not here. If you think that everything's just always a light, we need to embrace the dark and accept that that's real too. And I always find it fascinating, everything about the paranormal and all of that. Especially, we're always drawn to the historic districts, because, as you know, there's always some funky energy, some cool history going on there.
Yeah, because this like you keep saying, Alex, we're energy, and as you know, you cannot kill energy. You can't contain it. It moves on. It travels. Sometimes it connects, but we're half water and we're half electricity and air, and we're energy, and you know that, girl. You know it. That's awesome. I love this chick. Yeah. You're fucking amazing. Someone said, Heather, Witch and Life Guide. Thank you, Heather. My girl, she shared your Facebook thing in chat. Yes, it is psychic medium Alexandria Saar, SAAR. And there's a picture of her at her recent convention, I believe. I saw that on Facebook. Is that you in front of the crowd doing a gallery reading? Oh, talk about that.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate the support. You two are just such a kick-ass duo, by the way. I love it.
You two
I love
are.
it.
Kick-ass duos, attract kick-ass duos, girl. We're gonna kill Massachusetts. They can't handle us four at once.
The dynamic duo. I love it. I love it. So that photo, that was actually in 2020, and it's one of my favorites. That was actually back in Massachusetts, because I used to do events in Bridgewater and Uplifting Connections and Hull, and it's just such a nice time. I really love it when everyone is there with, even if there's a level of skepticism. I think it's so welcome. I think at this day and age, a lot of people are coming in that have that healthy level of skepticism, because think of all the things that have happened in this world that are drawing their curiosity. I feel there's been so many awakenings happening these past 2 years, even with uncomfortable life circumstances going on. It's leading to more curiosity about what else is out there. So I've been seeing a lot of that at events, a lot of people coming together.
You kind of welcome it to an extent. You almost welcome the challenge of right? I mean, it sounds like you kind of welcome it.
Yeah, I feel like it absolutely should be welcome. I think all of us, we all need to question things that we don't know or understand. And, I've had the honor of connecting with many skeptics. And, I feel that I've given them some good experiences, whether it's changed their perception or not. They were meant to receive it at that time. So that's something that always makes me happy. But yeah, it's for those of you that haven't been to a group event, the energy is it's just incredible, because you get to hear stories. Loved ones are coming through, and they love to come through in an evidential way. They really go above and beyond to show that. So it's really cool to just hear stories of other people.
I love that. And you look at the picture, you probably got about 30, 40 people. That's just in the pictures. You had a good event. So for someone who gets a little nervous, you handle that pretty good. I mean, in front of all those people.
Oh yeah, I would say even doing this for years. My first event, I'm 27. My first event was at 18, and every single time before, there's always nerves, and I feel no one should ever be overconfident. If I ever feel overconfident before doing an event, that's the day that I stop and retire, because I just feel having nerves is good. We all gotta stay humble and trust the process. But that's something that I've always told myself when I first started out. And that's something that my mentor told me too. If you ever feel overconfident, you should just stop that event right there.
Wow. No kidding. Really? That's wow. It's brash. It's kind of bold, but yeah, that's kicking your own ass, so to speak. If you
Yeah.
Charles Fulton says, "Hi, Alex. Do you do investigations at locations as well?"
Hi. Yeah, that is a great question. So me and Kenneth, we actually haven't done any investigations this year. We're actually kind of taking a little bit of a break from that, but we did. We've done quite a few investigations in Massachusetts, and I know, Adam, you know some of those stories as well. And
Yes.
we were lucky enough to help on a pretty big case in the Cape, which was an exorcism case. So it was something that we really stumbled upon. But I feel like all of us, when we investigate, it's placed in our path for a reason. If we weren't able to handle it, it wouldn't be on our path. But I have done some investigations in Bridgewater, and this case was pretty cool. It was actually a home that lived right on a cemetery. It was like right in the backyard, and this woman had a poltergeist case, and it was a high level of intensity. But me and Kenneth, we went there, we investigated it, and we had a lot of activity in our own home. Because I'm sure you guys have experienced that as well. As you get closer to a case, you get a lot of activity. So kind of came with the territory, but we were able to help this woman and help restore her house back. And it's one of those types of homes, though, since you live on a graveyard, where there's always going to be, a need to have that level of upkeep, like protection, even going back to the basics and putting like salt for protection around your home.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to experience that.
That old school witchery. I like that. It's funny you say that because it's true. Like even Nesper, even the guys that own Annabelle and Conjuring, they have that place blessed once a month, once a week, whatever it is. You can't mess around. They put salt. You put railroad spikes in each corner of your house, and and you put like a cat's tail on your hearth or whatever. I believe in all that. I got sage right in my hand. I'm actually growing. I got a baby sage, and I'm growing it in Heather's garden, my own sage plant. So. Oh, I'm so proud of that. I'm a little papa. So I'm excited. I love all that stuff. That's crazy that it's right on the cemetery in Bridgewater. For those of you that don't know, Bridgewater, Massachusetts is home to the Bridgewater Triangle, which is one of the most eeriest fucking places you can go, aside from like the Japanese suicide forest or Baby Transylvania or the Italian vampire islands. Bridgewater Triangle, not Bermuda Triangle, which is eerie in itself. Bridgewater Triangle, Alex, you must know all about that, huh? You're from that area.
Oh yeah. So my
Demons,
cousin, she
suicides.
actually lives. Oh yeah. There's always so much going on there. So much going on. I feel like there's just like loads of places to go investigate. I'd love to hear if any of you know some good places. I bet you found some good places over there.
Ooh, where's this?
So the Bridgewater Triangle, my cousin, she actually lives in the perimeters of that. And when I used to sleep over there would always be some strange activity going on.
Like
God. every single morning, music would go off, and you couldn't really find the source of it. Her alarm clock would have different sounds coming out of it than like her intended alarm, and it was spooky. Honestly, I thought it was cool. Like I really enjoyed sleeping there. I was like, oh wow, what's going to happen today?
Alex slept in the Triangle. Dude, I've gone by it because I stayed at Lizzie Borden's, and Fall River is actually on the tip of the Triangle. It actually enters one of the parks, but there's been like everything from phantom truckers to aliens to suicides to satanic cults to demons to people who have seen Bigfoot to flying fucking birds to man apes. Holy shit, the Bridgewater Triangle, look it up. Google Bridgewater Triangle and you will see everything that has to do with the paranormal field in there, from giant snakes to ghosts to aliens to Bigfoots. Am I right? I mean, everything.
Oh, yes. And I'm sure there's plenty of good places to explore there, too. I personally wouldn't go too deep into the woods because that's where a lot of spooky stuff happens. But there's some documentaries on I think Prime as well, and there's some really good stories about encounters that have happened. Even like people have had some experiences with like alien activity as well. So
yes,
yeah, I would love to experience that.
You would, huh? Jimmy goes flying birds, huh? I'm sorry, not Jimmy, but Johnny Lawrence of the Cobra Kai. Nice handle. I meant giant birds like pterodactyls. Of course, birds fucking fly, even though penguins don't. So Alex, let's talk real quick. Everybody in chat's being goofy. Alex, let's talk real quick about because of course you're a medium, and that's most psychic mediums. They stay to that. But you just said that you'd love to see an alien. So you're into aliens, UFOs. Have you seen anything like that?
Oh, yes. So, there's been a lot of activity in Alabama, like, especially in certain locations. Adam, I'll have to send you these pictures after if there's a way I can send it to the group as well. I have seen plenty of what I would say allegedly, but I feel like they were. I've seen plenty of UFOs here, and they just look like these lights. They look like these lights in the skies that are, like, circular, and they move around a little. And me and Kenneth, actually, we went to this really big shrine, in Alabama, and we were taking photographs. And in the photographs, when we came home, we looked at that. We saw these UFOs in the sky, and with each picture, they were moving. Like, they were moving from, like, one side of the building to the other, and it was just so spooky. And, yes. And I actually have another good story, too. Me and Kenneth, we were actually driving back from Massachusetts, driving through New York, and as you know, there's some rural parts, and we came across this city, so we pulled in. I kid you not, this city has like less than 100 people in the population. It was just pitch black everywhere, and we saw these like two UFOs. I was looking at these two lights that were like diagonal towards each other in the sky, and as we were staring at them, they just like lift up and start like flying up into the sky. And it was bizarre. It was just pitch black everywhere. And it was really cool.
in a little hick town with just, oh my God, black-eyed kids walking around and shit. Oh yeah,
It was so cool. Less than 100
is,
people.
oh my God, they still exist out there. All these huge cities, like you go to these, like honestly, the town I live in, I think it's population like 350. We have like a Dunkin' Donuts and like a gas station and like a weed dispensary, and that's about it. And I love it, man. There's no McDonald's here. There's nothing, no restaurants, and I think it's great. It's freaky, but so we had another question from Nicole. I'm getting right to it, Nicole. Let me see, what was it? Do you sense when someone is possibly testing your abilities? Because she says she gets that a lot, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow, so that is a great question. I feel yes, that has happened to me, and a lot of times when you're in tune to that energy, when you're doing a reading, I'm sure you can feel this too. You can feel like levels of skepticism. Like I can always feel when I'm going into a reading if someone is skeptic, because it's like even their body language or the energy they're emitting to you, that energy exchange, you can kind of feel it. And that actually did happen to me not too long ago, where I was at a group reading, and these people, they were recording me, and I kind of just like shut it down because, as we know in this field, we have to accept people coming in with healthy skepticism. But if you feel it's too heavy, I always suggest just pulling away. Like I stopped the reading. I actually gave them a refund. Because some people do like to test, and you don't know what their intentions are. So usually I will allow some skepticism, though, because I think we all need to have a little bit if we don't, if we're going into something new. But I hope that makes sense, though, because I feel like that does happen to a lot of us in the field. We're kind of met with those challenges sometimes.
Yes, but at the same time, I think with them, it's almost kind of rude to bring out, like, you're not a freak show, to bring out a camera and record you, kind of like, that's kind of rude in my opinion. So they kind of cross the line. So I don't blame you for that part, because like you say, it's okay to be skeptic, but don't come in here with an attitude like, oh, you're a fucking phony, ghosts aren't real, blah blah blah. It's just, why do you even come then? Just stay home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they were really sweet, but I still shut it down because I was like, that we need to have nice boundaries for ourselves and honor ourselves and our gifts. And yeah, I shut that shit down. It felt good.
I love it. You and Kenneth are sweetest people in the world. But if anybody fucks you, you're like, you know what? Don't take my kindness for weakness, because I'm still a human and you can fuck off. And I love that. There's nothing wrong with that if someone crosses the line. You're very much open. I want to talk about something that I want to get very soon, or at least when I see you so you can sign it. A Medium's Memoir and Adventures. Awaken, I should say. I'm sorry. Awaken. A Medium's Memoir and Adventures. A book that's been about 2 years in the making for you.
Thank you. I'm so excited to just share my story with everybody, because, you never know who needs that to unlock their own journey, unlock their own healing journey, their awakening journey. So, that's why I've taken a lot of time on this, and I've been sitting on it and just, going at it in slow intervals. But for those of you that don't know me, this will be a great chance for you to get to know me on another level. I will be talking a lot about my awakening journey, because, we never just have one awakening. All of us, we have many awakenings. So I talk about that, and as well as my healing journey. And I got some really interesting encounters
During, like, a reading? Hello? Are you there? Are we there? Are we live? Uh-oh, what happened? Am my Wi-Fi go out? Can anybody hear me? Someone type yes if you can hear Adam, if you can hear me. Then I figure we just lost my guest, maybe. Can anybody hear me at all? Can someone just write yes?
Hey.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. All right, I can hear you, Adam. So you are there. All right. I don't know if they lost me or what. I'm looking at my Wi-Fi going, shit, it went out.
Yeah, I can hear you okay.
Okay, cool. We lost you for a couple seconds, or maybe we lost me. I don't know.
Okay.
But we're back.
Yeah, no worries. Are we back? We're back?
We're back. Yeah, everybody says we're all good. Awesome. Yeah, everybody's all pumped. We got like a bunch of people in chat. UFO Fred's joining us. Fred Richards, who's a member of MUFON. So let's talk about UFOs. Thanks for joining us, Fred. We got Johnny Lawrence of the Cobra Kai, which I'm pretty sure is Jimmy Pentanino from Nesper. Mr. Haunted himself that rolls with Tony Spera and them. So thank you guys for joining us. So King wants to know, my boss Ross, what has been your scariest paranormal experience that you've lived through?
Oh, that is a good. Oh, I got plenty of stories for that.
Yay, we love the
Actually,
dark
I
shit. We
would,
love the dark shit.
I would have to say that the most intense encounter was when me and Kenneth, when we did that home clearing and the investigation. We weren't just working with clearing out one demon. It was actually a whole hierarchy. So there was about 12 in there. And,
Wow.
you know, there was a lot of activity around this because even before we went there, it's kind of like that same concept of activity happening around us because we were so close to the case. So, you know, it was just really interesting. And it's one of those things where our minds are so open now to that yin and the yang concept where there is definitely the dark and there's the light too. So it's safe. But we actually, on top of investigating, we went to that house about 2 times. I actually saw them. Like I saw some of them, like the demons that were there. And this girl that we were doing the case with, there was some encounters of levitation, and there was just like a lot of high levels of activity while we were doing the clearing. And I would say we did a great deal of getting the demonic entity off of the girl and family that we were helping. But we actually brought in a whole team of people to help us because it turns out that the demons were from Babylonian times and they came from the skull that was brought into the house. And it didn't respond to God or the Bible. So we had to bring in people from the Kabbalah Institute and they kind of helped finish what we started. Yeah, it was very intense. And I absolutely believe that our higher power, you know, brought us to them for a reason and so we could connect them to the Kabbalah Institute as well, because there is no way they would have been able to leave without all of us coming together. And I would say we're definitely our minds are so open to the point where we'll never go back to who we were. And that's not in a bad way, that's still in a positive way. But yeah, thankfully that family is okay. And it goes to show cursed relics, that shit's real. Ouija boards, you know, we all gotta be careful with all of that. But, you know, we really want that cursed relic. It's completely cleared now. Like the family still has it. And we're hoping one day we can still get it and just put it somewhere. But it was definitely a very intense experience. So I'm grateful for that experience. But it was intense.
That's gonna stick with you the rest of your life. That's not your average. That's not. Wow. Yeah, I remember every time Kenneth talked about that, the levitation and just the stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to get in this field and they want to see this shit, but some people aren't ready for it. Sometimes you can be careful what you wish for.
Yep, exactly. It was definitely not what you're expecting, that level of intensity. But you know, it's also like, yeah, levitation, but also there's some elements where it's not like what you expect, like what you see in the movies. Excuse me, sorry, I'm recovering from being sick. But you know, there was like voices, there were things moving. We had many encounters where we even before the case on the way there, like homeless people, we feel their bodies were being taken over. And they would come up to us and this wild shit would happen to us. So it's definitely real. It's definitely intense. And for those of you coming into the field, I would say that is more on the rare side. Like when we talk to the Kabbalah Institute, they say they never saw anything like that before. So it's interesting, definitely interesting. And I think, I'm not sure if Kenneth showed you a picture of that cursed relic of the skull, but that was actually used in a ritual. And it was a sacrifice ritual. So that's how all that happened.
Wow. So you guys went like the Institute. That's like the old school, like the Jewish, like the monks, right? You're going like old religion here. When you went to that, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the Cabal is like that's like the Holy Quran and all that shit. We're talking like the Celtics, even like we're talking way before Catholic or Christianity was kind of wow, no kidding. And they've never seen nothing like that. What does that tell you? That's scary.
And you know, it's just so cool how the Kabbalah Society is. I have major respect for them. It's so interesting. They didn't even have to go to the home to do the clearing. It was just, there's like a level of secrecy with how they even did it. But yeah, all we had to do was give them the names, and they helped us finish everything off. So
Wow.
I'm very grateful for that.
Wow. And we're talking, Babylonian. We're talking like Gozer, like in Babylonian times. I can't even say it. My tongue's tongue twisting. But wow, this is otherworldly. Like, they don't even know what Jesus Christ is because he was born after the Babylonian. I can't pronounce it. Is that Babylonian times? There we go. But this is like prehistoric shit. And these demons have been around forever, and they come back, and we fight them, and then they go away. But then there's always some fools out there that open up Pandora's box or do something dumb that call them up. Wow, that's some wild shit. That's some crazy shit. A lot of people listening probably don't know what the hell you're talking about, but you guys should Google some of that. My girlfriend, Heather Kemenidi, Heather Witch and Life Guide, who's back every Wednesday, every second and fourth Wednesday here at Paranormal King. I'm sure she'd love to have you on at some point. She says, thank you so much for all you're talking about and saying that you can say no if you don't feel right in a reading or something, going back a little bit ago, because she's kind of getting involved in that now, and she's getting nervous on what to say and all that stuff. So she says she appreciates you and your words very much. So that's good.
Heather, I appreciate you, and I would love to be a guest. Love to. And, also going back to that, another reminder too, what I always trust myself on, even if someone is inquiring about booking, if it doesn't feel good, I would absolutely trust that feeling.
See that? Yep. That's instincts. That's what keeps people alive, man. You got to follow your instincts sometimes. As I crack open a second beer,
you got to trust that gut.
You got to do it, man. And I got to say something. You and Kenneth are great picture, Heather. Heather's got a great picture of Alexandria Saar. What's it say above? Oh, okay. So it must be the cover of the book, Awaken, a Medium's Memoir. And it's got the beautiful Alexandria Saar on the cover. So let me talk a little bit about your lovely partner that I got a man crush on, Kenneth Drake. You guys, Medium Kenneth Drake. He's incredible. He's incredible. And you guys are, honestly, to listen to you talk, you're obviously unique and different. You're obviously an individual, but you're very much the same cloth. And I believe you guys said you have the same birthday or something crazy like that, right?
Yeah, so we have it's pretty wild. It's cool. So we have the same birthday. We are both left-handed, and not only that, his mom and my mom were born the same year, and they have the same birthday. So when we first discovered all that, it was definitely pretty wild, but it's a good confirmation for us.
You guys were twins separated at birth. Oh my God. You better. I mean, that's so bizarre. It's so connecting, and it shows you things. And you guys are, you're salt and pepper. You guys both do your own thing, and you're very much alike, but at the same time, you're very much your individuals. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's definitely fair. We bring something. We both bring something different to the table, but we both have we have a lot of similarities as well. The majority of Kenneth's work is with paranormal, and I dabble in that too. And I would say I'm also in the paranormal, but we do things, we're both a little different in that sense. But yeah, he's incredible, and he is just such an authentic person. And that's one thing that I really love about him. So I know too, I'm like, if I go down the rabbit hole, I'm sure there's some other crazy similarities too that we haven't even found out yet. Like, we're like, let's get our birth certificates and see if we were born at the same time or something.
Your blood type's both O negative or something like that. So I know we talked about it before, but it's always fun, and I want to just break character because we got about 25 minutes left, cruising right along here, but still get some time. What's your go-to for a nice meal that you like to prepare, or maybe a cheat meal? Is there a certain McDonald's burger or something silly that you like to just grab?
Oh, yes. Well, the Southern barbecue here, oh my gosh, there's so many cute little mom and pops. There is so many mom and pops here. And, it's generations of family. Those are my go-to places. It's in the family, and they really care about what they're making. But in the South, there is, an abundance of them. And when I first moved here, it blew my mind in a good way. So that is our go-to, and I'll say Kenneth is the cook here. He loves to cook. So when we do cook, he's the one that likes to cook, and we make a lot of like casseroles and things like that. But yeah, we like a good barbecue spot.
Wow,
you guys will have to come visit because there's like lots of good ones.
That was cool. A New England girl went from clam chowder to barbecue baby back ribs. Look at that shit. I can see Kenneth making oysters with some Chardonnay in the kitchen, though, laughing and singing to Frank Sinatra or something. You guys really are, and I mean this because I have no reason to kiss either of your ass, you know that. But you're both, in my opinion, beautiful people inside and out. I feel so safe talking to you. The first time I had Kenneth on, I was on KCOR radio, and I was a co-host on Love, Light, and the Paranormal with Reverend Jay. And he goes, we're having Kenneth Drake on again. And I said, it was my first time meeting him. And the way he talked, I was almost lost in his voice. And he spoke so highly of you, became friends, you and I. And then, of course, I had you on the vodcast, and I get to kind of meet you officially. And you guys were in that beautiful room of yours in that nice little haunted house. And I saw you guys, and then I read what you put on Facebook. And you guys are, like I say, everybody shits. We all bleed. But you guys are pretty genuine and pretty down to earth and pretty just great people. I recommend knowing both you guys in person. Don't follow them if you're a piece of shit, but if you're cool too, definitely hit up Medium Kenneth Drake or Psychic Medium Alexandria Saar. Even if you are a piece of shit, that's fine. Just pay them, that's all. But they'll give you a reading. They'll talk to you. They're motivational speakers, even though they probably don't claim to be. But you guys both have a way with words, and you guys both have a great knowledge and just a great background. And I'm so fucking glad you came on my show. Sorry for the language. But,
I love it.
What's your go-to for movie?
I love that.
What's your go-to for film? You like old school horrors?
So we love. Yes. We're all about like 80s horror, and I love the Conjuring universe. Like everything about the Conjuring movies.
Yes.
Those are my favorite. Like if it's not that, we like to go back to the classics. Like, like Annabelle. Those are my favorites too.
Yes. Yeah.
Those are
I love
really
you. You're a Freddy Krueger girl, I can see.
Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty picky when it comes to horror because I feel like nowadays there's not as many good ones. So when a good one comes out, I get so excited.
Yeah.
But I love that. I love true crime. There's actually interesting. I was reading a thread the other day. It's funny, like all of us light workers and in the paranormal field, everyone loves true crime. Like it's just that's one of my go-tos as well.
There's a lot of serial killer fans out there. I, for one, I've been to the Boston Strangler's grave in Peabody, Mass, right by Salem. He killed about 14, 15 girls in Boston in the 60s and 70s. Albert DeSalvo. What's your go-to? Are you a John Wayne Gacy girl? Do you like Jeffrey Dahmer because he's a looker? Do you like a certain serial killer?
Oh wow, yeah. So like, we love to watch all documentaries about that. I do like to watch. I like to watch those. I would say yes, and like those Ted Bundy documentaries. Although obviously they're all shitty people, but there's new documentaries. There's one on John Wayne Gacy that's new on Netflix too. I'm not sure if you got a chance to watch that, but it was pretty well made.
Really?
I think it's a John Wayne Gacy tapes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Netflix has been really pumping out those documentaries.
Yeah, they had some stuff on the Night Stalker there, and of course the Cecil Hotel and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah,
that's really cool.
The Night Stalker.
Yes, he's a real lady killer, as they used to say. I mean that. I know it's not tasteful, but it's lore. I'm not a serial killer. They haven't found the bodies yet, anyway. Just kidding. But I mean, you see these people, and it just makes you think. What triggers them, right? I mean, because us, as you and me, and I would like to think most people listening have a conscience. We're not going to slaughter random strangers out of pleasure, but some people do, and sometimes you don't even know for years they're a church leader or they're involved in their community. It turns out they got bodies in their basement. It's so fucking bizarre.
Mm-hmm. Part of me thinks too, if like wondering, like, are these people possessed? Like, if there's a spirit taking over them, and either that or they're just like pure psychopaths. But I've always thought about, that's a potential too. They could be possessed by something.
Have you ever come in contact with a soul that may have been a killer? Have you ever had like an evil, so to speak, person try to come through you or try to talk to you, like through the other side?
I like during readings, I have connected with souls that have been murdered or have committed suicide or have died in a pretty graphic way. But I would say that the most I've encountered with like lower vibrational spirits, I call them ankle biters, is when I've done home clearings. And I have, made contact with them, in order to help them. And I would say those who I've met earthbound spirits too. Those who had alcohol or drug problems, they tend to be a little nasty too, because I've had to help some of those spirits cross over and find their way into the light. So those ones that I've talked to, I would say they're not the most pleasant to work with. But
Really?
as a medium during readings, I haven't encountered too many mean spirits. I would say if they're lower vibrational, say due to how they pass, sometimes by suicide, it's a little bit harder for them to connect strongly. And, some people have that concept or idea. Maybe it's because they're in a different spiritual plane. And that's why it's like a lower vibrational plane. And those that are in a higher energetic plane, they connect at a stronger level. So that's kind of like what I believe about that, or what I think.
Oh, that makes sense. And Nicole, I see you got a question. I'll get to that in a minute. But I actually have a question. Do you think people can mistake, and this is from me, this is from the host, Adam. Do you think people can mistake bad people or serial killers or bad people as demons? Because when people are assholes in real life or kind of basically borderline just, I guess, really rough, they can be like that when they're dead. Doesn't mean they're demonic. It just means they're really an asshole spirit. Do you think, is that easy to determine for most? Because people seem to jump right on people,
Yeah, Yeah, I believe that because there's some spirits that I've encountered that haven't changed. Like they don't embrace that healing and transitional process, and they're more likely on like a lower vibrational plane.
Wow.
Because when we're talking to spirits, it's still their personality. Yeah, a lot of them go through healing. They have that like review, and they go into their own little, they call them soul clusters. What I've studied about it, their own soul groups. But yeah, a lot of the time it's them shooting the shit, their same personality. Yeah, those that were murderers or weren't the nicest, they're probably still the same way if they haven't really embraced that process.
Right, that makes sense. And those are the type of ones to not accept that they're dead and not go towards the light and just sit here and torment the earth. That's why I think a lot of times when a thing is haunted and people get scared, 9 times out of 10, the good entities, the good spirits move on, like my mom, and they visit. Shout out to my mom, by the way. She died 3 years ago today. I spent all day crying. I took a nap before the show so I wouldn't cry, so I don't want to talk too much about it. But my mom passed away 3 years ago unexpectedly today, so I love you, Mom. But someone like my mom, who I've only seen during my car accident, and I felt her when I moved here in my new home. I heard her say my name. I'm gonna cry. So I feel like good spirits move on and come down when they need to. It's the bad ones that want to stick here and be dickheads. Oh, sorry, I'm crying.
I was thinking about you today, and
it's been a rough day. Heather knows that. Yeah, I was at her house. I was watching Monday Night Raw wrestling. She loved wrestling, and I was getting some steak and cheese stuff ready. And she was at the hospital getting blood work, and then I got a call from my sister saying she died on the table of a cardiac arrest. And Kenneth knows. Kenneth's seen her and talked about her. And when I died in my car accident 2 years ago, she came to me. But anyway, so it's been a rough day. But I appreciate you. Like I said, if it was anybody else, I probably would have canceled. But your voice and you are so sweet, and I look forward to this. So I held up pretty good. I'm good.
I was inside your post earlier, and I was thinking about you, and even when I was looking at your post, I could feel it around you. So I even feel that as we're talking right now. Her presence is strong, and I really believe that too. The good ones that transition, when we think about them, there's just that instantaneous connection. They're there when we need them to be. That's what I've seen. And the other ankle biters and earthbound entities roaming this world, I feel a lot of them are just, I've seen a lot of them that just have they had drug or alcohol addictions, or they just have unfinished business. So a lot of times they're not even demons, they're just confused. You know?
That's what I hear a lot about the confusion. Like they almost don't even realize they're dead. Is that what you believe too? That they don't think they're dead, so to speak? You think?
Yeah, yeah, and in our building, actually, I was actually going to clear it, but I got some consulting from a friend of ours because I actually don't communicate with them here. I set major boundaries, and we both decided, okay, they're not bad. They're just curious and confused. So I leave them alone, and I actually have really strong boundaries so they don't cross them. It's like you can learn how to cohabitate with them and just kind of leave them alone. Like you don't always have to clear them. You two can live together in peace, and they won't take your energy if you set good boundaries. So I feel like we've gotten to a good place with that because I do it daily with the sage and the boundaries, and they always respect that. So if they didn't, they would get removed. So
Yeah.
I feel successful with that.
See, that's cool because it's almost like, like someone gets like a rodent problem, they got to call the exterminator. Well, sometimes you can be more peaceful and you can live with them. You can't communicate with rats and tell them not to bite your wires, but with ghosts, you can tell them, hey, look, I don't like that. You're scaring me. Please, this is private. And if not, and then they can. Most can, and if not, you seek further measures. But it's kind of neat to live with a spirit or something because they were there before you most times. Nicole, real quick. Nicole's full of questions. She's great. Nicole Gaspard. She's also an author too. She wants to know if there's anything on your bucket list for haunted or just regular locations in general.
That's a really good question.
It is good.
Nicole. I would really love to go back to Salem, or I'd love to visit like some part of the historical district in North Carolina because they have like these ships. And they do like ghost tours on them. So I'd really love to go do that, as well as I would just love to go on like an authentic like investigation. We haven't done that in a while because of our past clearings. We're like, okay, we've got to retire for a little bit. But if the invitation ever comes up, I'm sure we'd be down to partake, especially if it's in the Bridgewater Triangle. See some funky things going around there.
Oh, we might need a whole week in Salem. I don't think we can do this all in a day. When you guys come down to Massachusetts and Quincy, we got to check out some shit. There's so much in Danvers. The Rebecca Nurse homestead, 1691 or 1681. Rebecca Nurse was the oldest woman hung during the trial. She supposedly was buried out back after she was hung as a witch in 1692 in Salem. Her son and her husband cut her down and brought her back home and buried her behind the homestead in an unmarked grave. So there's a lot. I mean, the Boston Tea Party. Oh my God, Lizzie Borden's, and then you got Bridgewater Triangle. Good Lord, you slept in the Bridgewater Triangle. I'm so jealous. That's pretty cool. So your bucket list is kind of where you've been before. Have you been to Narlands, as they call it? You've been to Narlands?
I haven't heard about that. What is that?
Oh, New Orleans. I'm saying it wrong. Narlands, the New Orleans, Louisiana, where the voodoo is and all them shit.
We're actually really close to it, and we have talked about it. That would be really fun. Really fun. But I feel like Massachusetts, you guys have a lot of fun stuff to explore there. I would love to go to New Orleans as well. I mean, we could just hop on a train, take the scenic route. Like, it's really not that far away from us.
I love the voodoo, and I love that the Madam Girl. Is it St. Louis Cemetery #2 or something? Madame LaRoche, wow. the high voodoo priestess is buried. People leave her cigarettes and money and different things. But that's kind of the lore in Salem too. You get all the memorials. There's so much cool shit to see, and I think that's what's great. You guys come to Maine, I can show you where the Pet Cemetery is, Stephen King's movie. That's up here by Bangor. I'm about 45 minutes away. I go to Stephen King's house almost every day. One of these days he'll come out and I'll meet the bastard. But that's a bucket list. So wow. What about music, Alex? What's your go-to for tunes?
Oh, I love everything. I love dubstep. I love all different types of dubstep, like Deadmau5, Skrillex, Black Tiger, Sex Machine.
Ooh, yeah.
When it comes to like rock, I like Devil Wears Prada, D. Antwoord.
D. Antwoord, yes. Rap rave rock. That is such fucked up. Dude, Yolandi, I saw them in Boston in 2012. I was on crutches, and Yolandi came out with a dead rat or a fake dead rat, and their DJ had a mask on. D-I-E Antwoord. They're from Africa. It's like rap rave techno rock. So fucking bizarre. You like that shit? That's killer, Alex.
They're like my favorite, and I wanted to go see them so bad.
Oh,
I
they
like
think
rap
you're
too, but I
freaky.
fucking love them.
I think you're freaky, and I like you a lot. Oh my! You listen to it, you say this is the stupidest shit ever, and then after about one song, you're like, "Hey, what the fuck was that band again?" And you're hooked. It's it's so bizarre. Right. That's cool.
They sing about the weirdest shit, but it makes sense. It sounds good, and like if you follow them on social media, they're just so unique and interesting. Like they always hold to just being authentic. You know, like that's what I love about them. They're just so interesting.
Oh my God, Heather.
So, yeah, I love them.
Heather puts, I've never heard anybody mention Antwoord besides you and Drake. So you guys must be, and she wants to go to Alabama. She says, Heather's a big fan of you. Yeah, Antwoord's, I know I went off subject, but they're very, oh man, I don't know. It's almost horror movie rap. I don't fucking know. Antwoord it means the answer in African, but I'm sorry, go ahead. I cut you off.
Oh, no, I love it. They have like the coolest videos too. Like it's just so weird and funky, and it does have that like horror aspect to it too. I would love to see them perform. I am so jealous you got to see them.
I was 2012. They just came out with a Tension album. They just got off their Evil Boy kick, which is so bizarre. And they come out with Tension. And my buddy got me to go in the Paradise Club in Boston, and I had crutches. I said, oh, fuck it. And it was my first ever rap concert, and the bass riddled my rib cage. And then they came out. She's dancing around with these little penises on her shirt, and he's got fucking a mullet, Pink Floyd underwear, and I'm like, what the fuck are these people? And they are honestly some of the most talented oddballs you've ever seen, and it's catchy. Antwoord, Dieantwoord means the answer. And they're sorry, we're off subject. People are asking questions. Sorry, guys, I like my music. What exercise can someone do to see if they are gifted? Great question, John Anthony.
Ooh, that's a really good question. So, I think all of us, we're all mini psychics. We all have that capacity to tune in and strengthen our intuition, and also unlock those clair senses, which is our, where our psychic abilities are. And I always suggest having and starting basically a practice where you can start mindfulness. And, not everyone likes to meditate, but there's just certain practices you can do, like developmental exercises. But it's all about mindfulness, because we need to learn to let go of the logical mind so we can embrace what's coming in from our intuition. We could start by meditation. You could start by doing certain mindfulness exercises. Here's a really quick, easy one. If you just kind of sit and listen to everything around you for 10 minutes, you could do it in 2 to 10-minute intervals, and then look at everything around you, or you can focus on a certain object. What you're doing is you're allowing yourself to really hone in on certain clairs, clairvoyance, clairaudience, and you're allowing yourself to strengthen a way that you can receive psychic insight. But I believe all of us can connect. It's different levels of connection. It's all about how we take care of ourselves. Everybody's different, but it all starts with mindfulness. And sometimes there's a fun one called automatic writing as well, where you can really set your intentions as well. You could ask your guides or your loved ones in spirit a question, and you can start strengthening that way. But it all starts with just letting go and just embracing that information that's coming through. So yeah, that's a really good question. There's like so many ways you can do that, but I feel like it all starts with allowing yourself to be present. And a lot of us, something we all have to build on is having that confidence with trusting the information that's coming through. Because we may not understand it. We may be channeling something for someone else, but what's coming through is valid. So I hope that makes sense. But yeah, there's so many different ways you can work on that.
No, I love that. And actually, I kind of want to touch on that. I know we got a couple minutes left. If you don't mind, we'll go over about 5 minutes or so, if you don't mind, because we have a couple more questions. But I want to ask you, Alex, as far as meditation goes, I think the average person, and I mean that with all due respect, I say that every week, but the average person, the average humanoid, the average air breather, they think of meditation as home, sitting there Indian style with your hands out in a okay position, going hum. I think meditation is anything from being in a place that you love in serenity and quietness in a park to driving with the music on and just zoning out. Anything to me, do you agree to that as far as meditation, or do you think there's a philosophical type of answer, I guess?
I love that. I love
Okay,
that.
that's
And
cool.
I
That's
agree
my
with
version.
you.
That's cool. That's
Yeah,
cool. Well, I
everyone's
didn't know.
different. I know some people cleaning is their form of meditation because meditation has the same idea. It's clearing your mind and being present. And if listening to music and driving gets you there, or cleaning or just walking outside, that's all meditation. It's not just
Cool.
sitting there and, plugging in a guided meditation or listening to music. I believe we all need to do what works best for us because that's where we're going to have the results.
I
So,
love
yeah, I
that.
agree with you on that.
Oh, that's cool. Because I know some people would say, well, no, you're just listening to music. But if I put the fact that I feel like shit or my mom's dead and I go listen to some White Zombie or fucking Rob Zombie in my car and end up at some old graveyard and my mind's clear and I'm happy, I've just meditated myself, right? I guess that sounds bad. I'm a meditator. But you know what I mean? I feel like as long as you're reaching that Zen, like you don't need to listen to just spring water on repeat on YouTube, which is great if you meditate that way.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, and that's our truth. We're honoring our truth and what feels good to us. I feel like if we don't honor that, it would be a little intimidating going into development or starting a mindfulness practice. I know plenty of mediums that don't like to meditate, and they do things differently. Some people like to do yoga or go for walks. Like, we're all different, and I love it when we honor that too.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. We don't have to run right yet, but everybody's saying great show, great guest. Thanks to Charles Fulton in chat with some great questions. He says, great show. Thank you for answering it. Adam and Alex, thank you for answering my questions. Johnny Lawrence, UFO Fred, Nicole Gaspard, John Anthony, thank you for answering my questions. Great show. Thank you, John. Melissa Keene, George Cannon, Heather Witchin, Nicole Gaspard, the King, everyone in chat. Actually, Nicole's got a question real quick, if you don't mind. She'd like to know what you use for crystals. What's your go-to for rocks and gems and crystals and such?
That's I love crystals. We have like a whole collection here. My favorite, I love amethyst. That's always my favorite, my go-to. And moldavite is something that I'm very drawn to as well. I have a moldavite ring, but for those of you that know about moldavite, it does carry a higher vibration. Some people like to wear it a lot, and what it helps, it helps with opening up like your heart chakra, and it definitely carries a good energy to it. So every once in a while, I'll put it on. I don't keep it on for too long. We also love selenite. I have selenite just to, set the boundaries in their place too. It's nice because selenite facilitates positive energy, and I have it gridded all around our apartment. So they have many great uses. There's selenite cubes, and I have selenite towers. So those are fun. But it also helps with clearing energy too. Like if you're someone you like to investigate, or there's certain energy exchanges you pick up, selenite can help a lot with clearing that energy too. And they're not that expensive. So I'm a huge advocate for selenite.
Oh, that's cool. And I think if you go to your local witch shop, and even honestly, some places in New England, you can go mining. There's places in Maine and New Hampshire you can go mining for your own minerals and gems. But if you can go to a little witch shop and support them, I mean, obviously, if you go to New Orleans and Salem, there's gift shops everywhere. But if you can go find your little mom and pop place or a yard sale somewhere and someone's got some rocks and gems, why not pick them up and see what you can work with? Nicole says, thank you so much for answering. She likes to use tiger eye and amethyst herself. So that's cool.
Ooh, yes. I love
stuff.
tiger's eye. It's a nice friendly one.
Very cool. Well, I was going to say, I'm a little buzzed because I've had 2 beers and a half a joint. But the one you just mentioned, what was the one at the end? Not solenoid, but what was the one you mentioned? For your gems?
Was it moldavite?
Yeah, azurite. Azure with an A, right?
Moldavite. So moldavite, it has like a greenish color to it. But you can get those at little shops too. I suggest it for everyone. They're like really intense because it's also part meteorite as well, so they're more on the rare side.
Oh, that's cool. That's a little extra. I got some azurite, little sapphire rock that I was told to get from someone. I got a little bit of azurite, and I got some different stuff. I got something called Fairy Cave. It's like a little rock with gems inside of it. It's called a Fairy Cave. I don't know if that's a real name, but I bought it for $5 because it's gorgeous. And I think if it's things like this, if you recharge it with a full moon, especially that gorgeous moon. Oh yeah, how'd you feel in that moon the other night? That crazy moon we had.
It was intense. I could definitely feel the intensity and the energy, and the veil was thin too. So I had some vivid dreams. I'm not sure if you did, but I was hearing from a lot of people they were having more vivid dreams as well, and they're feeling a little bit tired. But yeah, it was definitely a good time to charge some crystals up too. I always do that. I always put it right on like the window ledge whenever there's like a full moon and just let it charge.
You really do, don't you? You do. I can see you going, hold on, Ken, and you putting it. You do, don't you? Just like Heather, her rainwater, her moon water, she puts it by the windowsill. You do. I love that. You're a witch too. You're a little bit everything.
I do it for Kenneth. I take all his stuff and I'm like, okay, and I just take all of the crystals and put it on the windowsill.
What are you doing? I'm charging the rocks. Okay, all right, I'll get the tea on or whatever the fuck. God, I love you guys. So real quick, we don't have to go. We can get 5 more minutes, but I want to plug you real quick. Where can people find you and Kenneth? Where can people find the tour, your work on Facebook? I know, but I want everyone listening to know. Where can people find you, Alex?
So for those of you that are on Facebook, I'm on Facebook, Psychic Medium Alexandria Saar, SAAR. I also have a personal page too. If you want to add me, it's Alexandria Saar. And for those of you that are interested in attending this event, you can actually find the event on my Medium page. If you visit my website, it's alexsaarmedium.com. You can register that way. And I do offer private readings. Right now, a lot of them are virtual because we are in Birmingham, Alabama. For those of you that are interested in connecting with Kenneth, he also offers private readings, and he is on Facebook, Kenneth Drake, or Medium Kenneth Drake. So he is lovely, and he's just great to talk to as well. So I always highly suggest him. And I just want to thank you, Adam. I love you and Heather, and you guys are just incredible. And that's why I love connecting with you, because you are just so authentic, and you really just give so much to this world. You know, all of your followers, like,
fucking awesome.
You give them such a good experience. So I love that.
I'm blushing in the dark woods of Maine. I'm blushing with the Wendigo right now. And the thing is, I know you mean that. You're not just saying it because life's too short. And I know you and Kenneth, like I said, you guys don't put up with shit, and you want supporters, and you're here to support people if they're willing to have you. And shit, I'm tickled pink to know that you're my friend, and Kenneth too. I can't not wait to meet you both, and I'd love to set up a reading maybe this weekend with either or both of you. I'll have to hit up your pages, but shoot, this was fun. Let's we got 3 minutes. Is there anything you want to talk about that we haven't mentioned?
We got we have so many stories. Well, we're gonna have to set up something else again soon, and
please.
I would love that. Me and Kenneth, we also offer readings together too. So if you want to connect with both of us or just one of us, we do.
Oh my God, I'd love to have you both. I'd love to have you both. Heather, hold your ears. It'd be like a threesome. No, seriously, I would love to have you both read me, because Kenneth is kind of giving me free readings, and you gotta have too. But I mean, I want a legit one, and I want to pay you for your work, because it's not easy. It is your craft, and it's a God-given gift. But everybody else and their brother gets a little bit for it, and you should too, because you're very talented. And shit, Heather and I are just fucking happy to know you both. We can't wait to meet you. So damn, we'll have to set something up. I'm sure Heather would get involved too. Maybe we can have a 4-way. All 4 of us get a reading at once. Me and Heather can get a reading with both of you. Why not? That'd be great.
Yes, we should do that. I would love that. And we would also love to come check out your neck of the woods too. I love areas like Maine where it's nice and quiet, and the energy just feels nice and fresh and crisp there. Like I would love to come to Maine too.
You can't pull the New England out of you. You were born and bred in New England, in Mass. You can't kill that.
You're right. You're right.
So give Kenneth a big hug for us. We'll get going, but I run the vodcast, which is kind of cool because I can have two on at once. I can have you both on the radio show too, kind of booked till almost September, but the vodcast is kind of open. So I'd love to have you guys on maybe like a week or two before you come to Salem, so we can plug that. Would that work?
Yes, I would love that. I know Kenneth would love that too.
Okay. Well, I'll message you guys tomorrow. I know it's late now. We've talked for an hour, but everybody's saying have a good night. George Cannon says, great show. Heather Kennedy, great show. All XOXO. King, stay safe. Great show. Great guest. I'm a fan of King Ross. He's a fan of you now. A lot of people that didn't know you that are on here, unfortunately, they know you now, and they're all going to go check you out. So that's good. They should know you. You're someone that needs to be known. So.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
And sending you and Heather love, and thank you for having me on. This was fun. I was really looking forward to this.
Oh, that's killer. I want to have your friend on. I got her as a friend now. Your what is her name? We mentioned her earlier. You and her did something earlier on your page. Shoot. I'm just friends with
Tyler?
her. Yes, I'm friends with her now. So maybe I'll have her on in a couple of weeks too, or maybe in like a month or so here. And I do have your friend Allie Bennett coming on my radio show or vodcast. Allie, right? ALLIE.
Awesome.
Yeah, she'll be
love
on.
Allie.
Yeah, she'll be on here. I think.
Awesome.
Shit, I think she's coming on here next week or the week after for my radio show, and then I'll have to have her on the vodcast. Maybe I'll have you and her on. Sky's the limit. So we're talking.
Oh, that would be fun.
Would be fun. Alexandria SAAR, SAAR, psychic medium. Alexandria SAAR. Look her up. She's on tour with the phenomenal Medium Kenneth Drake. They're both on Facebook. Nothing on YouTube though. No.
You know, I have a YouTube channel, but I don't frequent on there. But if you do look up Alexandria SAAR Medium, I do have some videos on there too. Okay.
All right. Well, it's worth checking out. I mean, might as well plug everything. You're not on Twitter or Instagram or nothing?
So I am on Instagram too, on Alex SAAR Medium.
Perfect. Look her up, bug her, like her shit, share her shit. She's the real deal, and she's good people. So Alexandria SAAR, from everybody at the Paranormal King Radio Network, everybody in chat, UFO Fred, Joey Lawrence, who's Jimmy Pentanito from NESPR, New England Society for Paranormal Psychic Research. Thank you so much for coming on. We're blessed to have you and know you. This will be up tomorrow, guys, on Anchor FM, on iTunes, on Spotify, on my Facebook page, and on my YouTube channel, Historically Haunted. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, and Adam the Historian Ghost Hunter as well. Just got back from Sleepy Hollow with Heather. We just saw the Headless Horseman and Washington Irving's grave, as well as Harriet Beecher Stowe, Uncle Tom's cabin, went to her house in Connecticut, Mark Twain. Oh, Alex, you got to check that shit out. Good stuff. Alex loves history, and you should too, historians. Check out Alexandria SAAR, Psychic Medium. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. Stay blessed.
Bye, everybody. Have a good night.
Hello, this is Adam Began, and I'm the host of Historically Haunted Show, where I talk about some very rare historical and haunted locations that I visited. I also interview some of the very best in the paranormal and cryptozoology field. So tune in every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Paranormal King Radio Network. And prepare to be educated about the unknown.